what is the biggest question mark in the entire AFC right now? There's a lot of question marks.
So for me, it is the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
All right.
Obviously, with the departure of Tyreek Hill, what is that offense going to look like? Now, are you going to try to resemble the same things you've done in years past, or are you going to be like the New England Patriots, continuously evolving? If you think about the Patriots, right, in the early years of Tom Brady, it was about a good, solid run game, defense. Then they went out and got a Tyreek Hill and Randy Moss. Then it was all about going downfield. Then they evolved again. It was about dinking and dunking and a two tight end system. Do the Chiefs evolve and become a different offense? Less explosive, more about possession and moving the chains? Or do they continue with the addition of Juju and Scantling to try to continue to do what they did with Tyreek?
You watched the AFC Championship game. I felt like the second half, they abandoned the run. Mahomes was on skates. As a honorary, member of the Chiefs kingdom here at our table, do you think this team can compete without Tyreek Hill?
I do. I think they're going to do it differently. That's what I was kind of leading into with that question as far as the New England Patriots. Obviously, last year they struggled a little bit because teams are now keying on what they were doing. I would like to see them evolve and be less about the big plays, the 70-yarders, be more about the run game, be more about, moving the chains. And with a guy like Juju Schuster, I think they bring him in to do that, to evolve this offense and be a little different.
Yeah. I'm going to go to another team that finished the season not how they started, and a team that wanted to go further, but it was because of injury. I think the Baltimore Ravens are fascinating right now, and it's a lot of stuff that's off the field, not on the field, and that Lamar Jackson still doesn't have a deal. Doesn't have an extension. We're now in year 5 of this deal, and you look around the league, Josh Allen got his big money, same draft class last year. Baker, we already know he's not getting his. Josh Rosen, long is not getting his. And then, of course, Sam Darnold's not getting his. And that was like the draft class. It was these 5 quarterbacks, and Lamar was 32nd overall, first-round pick. It's just dragging on and on and on. Can they really go to another season with Lamar Jackson not under a contract and playing on his rookie deal? It's his 5th final year of the contract here. And John Harbaugh just spoke to reporters like, I'm confident it's going to get done. But I would put Eric DeCosta, the GM of the Baltimore Ravens, I would put him up against any of the NFL's general managers. You're ranking him 1 to 32. He's in the conversation as the best. And, for them to be playing this game of a little bit of chicken, but also a little game of cat and mouse where they're like, we'd love to do the deal with Lamar. It hasn't happened yet. They're putting it out there that they want Lamar Jackson long term. So what does that mean? Is there a certain dollar that isn't enough for him right now? Or is it that they're not willing to go to that next level for the money? Lamar Jackson's an MVP. He's the face of the franchise. They've built their entire roster, not only the offense, around him. There has to be a number that makes sense. And then complicating things even more, Lamar's not a guy of many words. He isn't represented by Tom Condon or a Drew Rosenhaus
He's not represented by anybody,
or Joel
right?
Siegel. He does his own business.
Wow.
That's a baller.
Maybe that's why he doesn't have a contract yet.
Well, that could be the alternative of it.
He's never had his own agent, right? He's just been his own.
And he and his mother work on it together, and it's
amazing.
What a fascinating situation. You've got one of the league's stars, and everyone is making bonanza of money right now, whether it be Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, or any of these quarterbacks. Lamar's going to make $4 million, and I know that's a lot to us at home and here at the table. $4 million sounds great. But when you're talking about Kirk Cousins making $35 million and $40 million, and Lamar is making 1/10 of that, something's up. So here we are, another offseason. We're going now into April, and Lamar Jackson still doesn't have a long-term deal. Fascinating. And if that isn't addressed, does that hover over the Ravens all season long? Because, gosh, going into the final year of his contract? Are you serious?
It is weird, too, because even the optics of it in the media, they're the quietest team in that division by far. It's all been about the Browns and the Bengals, and even the Steelers and Trubisky. You just don't hear Lamar talk or Baltimore talk. And it's I'm looking at my watch, let's go. Let's get this thing done. This is your guy. All they ever say is how excited they are about him. Let's get it done. In the meantime, fascinated by the Bengals and the AFC. I always love this time of year talking about the team that lost the Super Bowl because everyone just kind of assumes, oh, they're great, they'll be back, they'll pick it right up where they left off. And it just usually doesn't go that way. I'm fascinated to see how the Bengals come out next year when everyone knows what time it is. They know all about that guy. They know how good he is. They know how he dresses. They know Jamar Chase not sneaking up on anybody, even in the division in the AFC. And every year you will find teams pick the losing Super Bowl team to waltz right through their division, maybe right to the conference championship, and God, it is hard. And you want to talk about teams that lose the Super Bowl. You know how rare it is to actually get back the next year? Bring it up. It almost is unprecedented. There is an almost certainty that they won't. just let's drink this in for a second.
is so
They
crazy.
lose the Super Bowl, they get back. Now, upper left corner, the Patriots are the last team to do it, but they're kind of an exception because it's the Brady Belichick factor.
Out loud.
Easy.
And then you go back to the Bills teams who just got there every year. And then after the Bills, you're in the 80s and the 70s. So that is not a coincidence. That is not an anomaly. That speaks to so many things. Losing your players, having bad injury luck.
25-year gap between.
It's a curse.
5 years. So listen, maybe the Bengals do it. Probably they don't. And I wonder how they come out because they're so cool and they're so young and they're so brash and I love all of that. Do they care about what I just showed? Do they care and they hate it and they take that as their method and their slogan for the year that we're going to stop that streak? Because when you pick the AFC teams next year, it's not just this waltz for the team. And the muscle memory lets you, the Bengals are fine. I saw them. Chase is great. It's tough. It's really tough.
Do you think a lot of people are going to take them to go back to Super Bowl? I don't see that based on all the hype we give all these other teams.
Definitely not the favorites.
Is anyone? I mean, are they the favorites?
They beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They stood nose to nose with everybody. They bring everybody back. They're young. They're good. Why wouldn't you? I guess because the AFC is just so good. But man, anything goes to the Bengals this year, and I hope they see that and get mad about it because history's not on their side.
Is it a streak or is it a curse?
I think it might be a curse.
I think it might be a curse.
better as a curse.
Do you
Better
think
branded.
that a kicker watching a Super Bowl halftime show is bad luck for the next year?
We got takes on that. I think maybe it does.
No, maybe we don't open up that can of worms. That's a whole other thing. I want to talk about the Colts. By the way, AFC North PS just has a gigantic question mark on it. They are the most confusing, absolutely. But the Colts are very fascinating to me. Last season, they had so much potential. Jonathan Taylor, oh my gosh. What a talented stud of a football player. And then they lose their last two games, the last one against the Jags. They miss out. They could have made it into the playoffs twice, and they blew both of those opportunities. It was broadcasted on live television, not just the game, but behind the scenes on Hard Knocks. We saw everything go down. They got rid of Carson Wentz, who was supposed to be their guy, reunited with Frank Reich. That didn't work. They got Matt Ryan, and I heard there's some takes about that on this show. Sure. Does he have anything left in the tank? Frank Reich said... He actually told Tom Pelissero, I think everyone saw from the outside that this is a good fit. Like, people can universally agree. You got a guy who's still playing at a high level with a team and roster that is built to make some noise. We needed each other. There he goes, holding his New Jersey. I don't know. There's so many questions here. It's very, very interesting.
The question is, can you be better than Ryan Tannehill? Like, that's their job, right? But can you beat the Titans and Ryan Tannehill? The bar is not terribly high. Unless Jacksonville and Houston do something crazy, Matt Ryan, you should be able to do that.
They don't even have to be. Like, the Raiders and Steelers made the playoffs last year. They didn't. Like, and those teams were not very good. Like, they limped into the playoffs, so the Raiders won a lot, but they lost some bad games. And to lose those two games.
Talk about a chip on the shoulder.
But is it all on Wentz, or was there 51 other guys on that field, too?
Absolutely. Absolutely.